Talking about the process of transformation, and it's something that people rarely share out in public because normally when you're going through that process of transformation, it's where most people want to hide what's going on with them, the breakdown of the different systems that they hold on to so dearly for such a long time that defines who they are. A lot of people actually hide this shame from the world. So today I'm going to be talking about this. If you're currently in the period of transformation in your life where it feels like everything is just falling apart, and maybe you're wondering, why is this so hard? Like, when will I ever get to the other side? Then this video is for you. So, first of all, my name is Eva. I am a mind alignment coach. I basically help you release anything that might be blocking you energetically, emotionally, mentally, or physically, and keeping you stuck in old patterns of yourself, old versions of yourself, and unable to actually tap into a new reality you might want to create for yourself. So basically, with the tools of using the Akashic records with a modality called soul alignment, and also with a beautiful, beautiful modality called quantum flow, which is all about the own nervous system, helping you rewire your nervous system to help you actually clear out any old trauma, emotional wounds, limiting patterns, and all of that that might still be recorded within your body that you might not even be consciously aware of, that actually impacting how you show up in the world. This is what I do with these two modalities. I help you actually get to the root cause of why life has been showing up for you the way it has, and help you releasing these patterns from your life energetically, physically, and all of that. And by doing that, you actually be able to tap into who you're supposed to be, your authentic self expression, becoming more aligned, having more clarity, becoming emotionally and mentally resilient, and so much more. But I'm going to be sharing more on this at the end of this video. So make sure you tune in until the end to actually hear the beautiful offer I might have for you. So back to today's video and the process of transformation. So I'm going to be sharing with you a beautiful roadmap of how you can navigate this process easily, especially at an emotional and mental level, which is actually the parts of our being that are mostly affected whenever we're going through the process of transformation. And you find that most people, they want to create the new version of themselves. You want the relationship, the partner, the money, the career, all of that, without going through the breakdown process. And I'm telling you today that the breakdown process is necessary because building on the old is never a good idea. And I'll give you an example. If you ever watch online, because I've seen a couple of these videos online where someone has this beautiful house, they've bought this, they've invested in this beautiful house, and then they're months into their stay in their home, they discover a hidden wall. Breaking down this wall, they discover a whole other room, whole other house within their house that is just dilapidated, worn out. It's old. It just looks horrible. I'm sure you've seen these videos, right? If you haven't, just go and Google them or something. And they look horrible. And as much as the house looks so beautiful, you having that mental awareness of there's something else in there, it's icky. It feels horrible. It ruins the vibe of your entire house. Because now you have to sort that out. And probably it's usually contractors who may or may not have been aware that there was a whole other building that was built on top of this house, right? So they didn't bother taking care of that. They just hid it, under these beautiful walls and all of that. But eventually it starts seeping out. This is how I want you to look at when you're trying to build on the old version of you, when you're not wanting to let go of old patterns, old ways of showing up, and you want something new. Yes, you might cover it in this beautiful paint, in this pretty picture. No one will ever see that murkiness that's underneath, but eventually it will seep out. That always happens. The old version of you, the old patterns of you, the old ways of operating, they will always show up. So, if, for example, you're trying to find yourself a partner and you haven't actually done the healing process for you to be in a healthy relationship, yes, from the get go, because you're in that honeymoon phase, you're in bliss, you might be enjoying each other's company and all of that. It might be so amazing the first couple of weeks, the first couple of months. But eventually, that unhealed part of you, those old wounds, that you never bothered addressing before jumping into a new relationship, they start seeping out. And now you start attacking your new partner based on how your old partner treated you because you didn't go through the process of healing yourself from that before jumping into a new relationship. If, for example, you're talking about money, right? Maybe you haven't done the work to actually heal your money wound. You still have the old patterns of showing up, the old belief system where maybe you think that money is evil, people with money are this and this, We have weird patterns and weird relationship with money. Maybe you haven't done your inner healing for that. And then you happen to come across a huge pile of money just lands in your lap, guess what's going to happen? Yes, it's going to feel so amazing at the get go, but just keep at it. Then those old patterns, old wounds with money, old belief system will start showing up in how you show up in the world. Now, all of a sudden, even with the multi millions in your account, you're still operating from a scarcity kind of mindset. Money is never enough. I have to, mice and just take care of this instead of actually tapping into true abundance. This is what I'm talking about when you're going through the process of transformation and you want to skip from the beginning to the end without going through the messy in between. And the way I want you to look at it is that the version of you that emerges once you actually allow yourself to go through that process, regardless of how painful it is, you're going to love that version of you. Yes, it's going to be messy. The period it takes differs from person to person. How painful it gets, again, differs from person to person, depending on how attached we are to that old version of ourselves. Obviously, if you do not want to let go, and the universe is conspiring to ensure that you actually move from point A to point B, letting go is not going to be easy compared to someone who just embraces that transformation, that change process, and just goes willingly. If you're still holding on to that old version of you, it's not going to be pretty. I can promise you that. So the entire process is going to be messy. Just make peace with that fact because every single step that you take will be forging, helping to forge the new version of you that's imagined. And another analogy I can give you with this is that think about if you're trying to create a beautiful tie and dye piece, right? So you have your piece of cloth. What's the process of creating that beautiful piece at the end that has all these beautiful colors? First of all, you gotta bind it because you gotta create the patterns, right? Then you have to go soak it in the dye, dry it out for a bit, soak it again or something, maybe bind it afresh and all of that. That's not easy. Picture yourself as that piece of cloth. If you're going through that, it's painful. It's so freaking painful. And someone is wringing out all your old colors and all of that and making sure that the new colors are attaching where they need to be. For the cloth, that's not easy, right? But in the end, once the piece has dried out, it's such a beautiful, magical experience, right? It's beautiful. This is how I want you to look at the process of transformation that when you're going through the washing process, the wringing out process, and all of that, and the universe is currently squeezing all the old patterns of you, any remnants of your old version of you, gonna be painful. But that version of you that gets to the end, that's gone through that journey, man, it's gonna be the most beautiful thing that you've ever seen. So the painful process is non-negotiable because again, you can't become the new version of yourself by still holding on to your old elements, period. And this is where most people actually end up getting stuck because they want that beautiful result without the wringing out process, and that can never happen. So how I want you to navigate this journey is number one, make peace with the fact that it's gonna be painful, it's gonna be messy, it's going to be uncomfortable. And once you make peace with this, now start approaching yourself with compassion. So this is not the time for harsh self-judgment, because you're going through a painful rebirthing process. So be gentle with yourself. You know, the way you'd actually be gentle with someone else who might be going through a very painful moment in their life. Most people forget to have compassion for themselves. Not easy. So show yourself compassion and recognize this process for what it is. The second thing you can do is practice self forgiveness with the old version of you. Now, the other aspect is judging yourself for the things that you used to do that you are no longer are, right? So don't shame yourself for who you are or what you did when you're operating from a different level of consciousness. That version of you did the best it could with what it had at that time. Now you know better. Now you know how to show up better. So celebrate. That old version of you helped you to survive that entire period of your life. Celebrate letting that go and embracing the new one. The third thing is ask for courage to keep showing up. Because again, process is not easy. And I keep on repeating this because this is what most people forget. You see the end result for most of the people you might admire online, but they never share the messy in between. The periods of lack, the periods of doubt, the periods of crying themselves to sleep before they actually got to that shiny version of themselves that they get you to see online. Yes, they might share a story or two, but they never show you the darkness that lacks, you know, that was lacking way before they tapped into this version of themselves. So again, ask for courage to keep showing up. Because some days you'll want to quit, some days you'll want to crawl back to the old version of you. Don't. The old version of you might be familiar, but it's not going to serve you with where you're going. So in those moments, call for courage, your own inner strength, higher self, divine guidance, whatever you believe in, call for help to give you the courage to navigate this process. The fourth thing is ask for support from the spiritual realm. So you don't have to go through this alone. What happens is that when people are going through this messy and comfortable transformation, it's where you find that a lot of people on the outside, people who actually love you and might not be understanding what you're going through, might walk away. This is where you end up losing relationships, people you thought you're why you ride or die, friends or whatever, relationships, they end up leaving because they're not able to help you navigate this experience, right? So I'm not saying this for you to judge them because sometimes if people are not in alignment with the version of you that's getting created, they're going to have to leave because the universe is all about vibration. So they're going to have to leave to make space for the new people who are more in alignment with you to support you on your journey. So don't judge them, don't hate them for leaving. It's perfectly all right if they leave. Obviously, it's painful, especially if it's people that you dearly love. It is painful. Make peace with that fact. But by all means, don't make it even more difficult for yourself by choosing to hate them while you're still going through this process of rebirthing yourself. It's not easy. So let them go and just trust that the universe is making space for something, people who are better for you with the version of you that's now going to emerge. The universe is going to support you by bringing those relationships in your life. So ask for support from the spiritual realm. So ask your guides, ask your angels, ask your higher self for help. Because it's not easy, right? And you don't have to go through it alone. So on the outside, it might look like you're alone, but you have so much support on the other side on your divine realm, divine assistance to help you navigate this process, to give you the courage, to give you the strength to keep waking up and showing up every single day. So you don't have to do it alone. The fifth thing is that hold space for yourself, knowing that this process is difficult for everyone, right? So you're not weak just because you're struggling. It's actually a very human experience to be struggling through this. So don't think that you have to be this superhuman person where you have to show strength and courage and all of that. If you feel like breaking down today, that's okay. Every single person who's actually ever truly transformed has gone through that ringing out phase. You're in the company of many. It's only that most people don't share that part of themselves with the world, but they've gone through it for them to become the version of themselves that you now admire. So hold space for yourself, knowing that this is what needs to be done to get to that version of you. And the other thing is a beautiful, beautiful reminder for you is that extend the same compassion you have to yourself for others who might be going through this process as well. Because this is where you see chaos happening in people's lives, right? So obviously we go into this whole judgment thing where we're like, oh, they used to be this, and now look at them, like they don't have the the success they used to have, and things are breaking down in their life and all of that. Like we've gone through judgment of people who, were on top of the world one day and the next day, not so on top of the world, right? Extend the same compassion that you'd want to receive to others. And also recognize that they're also in their transformation process. So this is not the time period to go making videos and laughing, making fun of someone else who's going through that painful process. See it for what it is, that they have to break down those old version of themselves in order to become the new. And everyone goes through this in their life. And sometimes I don't want to say it's once because the whole journey of life is about growth and evolution. Everything changes. So you're going to experience these periods of your life several times in your life. It's not just going to happen once. I mean, you didn't stay an infant, right? You've gone through so many stages from infant to toddler to preteen to teenage and all of that. You change. The world changes. So this phase of your life, this transformation, wait, you're probably gonna go through it again. But now with this awareness that I've shared in this video, recognize it for what it is, so that you're not going through the process fighting your way back to your old version of you, but you're allowing it to be easier by just letting it go and let whatever needs to happen happen. Breaking down of patterns, breaking down of relationships, and all of that. Let it go. Celebrate that. Be grateful because it means a new version of you that you could never have even imagined yourself being is about to come into being. And again, extend the same compassion to others, right? So I'll end this with this, right? Transformation is never going to be pretty, never going to be social media worthy. We're going to be sharing pictures of what you're going through. And it's also not a straight line from where you are right now to where you want to be. And it's not the same journey for every single person. But I want you to keep this in mind that just like the tie and dye piece, the beauty that emerges on the other side is what every moment of the making process. The version of you that's going to be born after all of that, it's going to be so authentic. It's going to be more aligned, more vibrant than anything that you've ever experienced before. And you are going to love that person. So trust the process, honor your pain, hold yourself in compassion, and know that what that is imagine is absolutely worth what you're currently releasing. So thank you so much for tuning in. If you like the content I've shared today, don't forget to support the channel by subscribing to it and also clicking on the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any time I share this beautiful, beautiful insights. And also share this video with someone who might be going through their own transformation process and help make it easier for them. And I did promise I was going to share with you at the end of this video how the two beautiful modalities I'm certified with can actually help guide you during this process of transformation from yourself. So I have a beautiful 6 weeks program where I'm actually going to be coaching you one on one. And it's actually specifically guided, specifically designed for you to actually navigate wherever stage of your life you're currently in. So you're going to be identifying what needs to be released, and I'm going to be giving you tools to do it safely. I'm going to be helping you connect with your soul guidance so that you're not navigating this period so blindly. I'm going to help you with certain activities, certain breath work, sound, and movement to help you rewire your nervous system so that the ringing out process doesn't keep you stuck in survival mode, which is not easy for most people. And it is what keeps you wanting to run back to your old you. So I'm going to make that easier for you by giving you tools to navigate that easily. I'm going to help you to embody the new version of you that's emerging, giving you more grounded practical techniques to actually help you navigate the pain with so much grace. So if this feels like you and you're like, yes, yes, I want to navigate this pretty easily, I want to make it easier for myself. It doesn't have to be so painful. I'm going to invite you to apply for this program by booking the discovery call. Let me share the screen. You can scan the QR code that is on the screen or check out the link in the description box. where I'm going to be leaving a link to that. So book a discovery call with me, QR code on the screen, or check out the link in the description box. Book a discovery call. It's just a short 15 to 30-minute call where we're actually going to see if this program is a good fit for you. Again, this is not for everyone. This is for someone who's actually ready and willing to transform their life. So it's not going to be a fluffy kind of thing, where I'm going to be combining you through the process. No, I'm going to be holding you accountable to what you need to do for that new version of yourself to emerge. So if you're truly ready to step out of your comfort zone and awaken this authentic expression of yourself, this program will be the best fit for you. So do book a discovery call with me. I will see you on the next video. For now, I'm sending you so much love and an amazing week ahead. Amazing start to the month. Let's see what this month brings about. So thank you so much for tuning in. Love and blessings.